All right, so let's get going with the vocals. Now, this is my favorite part of the song because, as much as she sounds like a drunken chipmunk when she speaks, she sounds like, I don't know, like a devil when she starts singing. This is the wonderful Nicole Allan, and these are her soloed vocals. Now, let's start with listening to what they sound like with everything turned on. This is verse 1.
Take a breath now, hear my words now, taste this last goodbye. 'Cause I gotta let go of you.
Yeah. So there's quite a bit going on here. There's a main, there's a lower harmony, there is some like overdriven copies of these going to the left and to the right channel, and there's some delay. I haven't put a reverb on it. I did make a bus for it, but for some reason I decided against it. But anyway, let's turn off the delay and the overdrive. Actually, let's turn off the de-esser and the BX console as well, and the lower harmony, and let's just see what that sounds like. Now, none of these vocals have been put through Melodyne or anything like that. Not that I'm against it anyway. In fact, we use it quite a lot because modern sounding recordings just kind of dictate that you do have to tune vocals a little bit, and I don't care how good of a singer you are, you'll never be bang on. So Melodyne can sort of help just massage it just in there, and it gives you a bit more freedom when mixing. But having said that, not tuning them, if you have a great singer, is a really great option, because you create something it has a few imperfections, and I kind of like that at times. But anyway, here is the raw main verse vocal.
Take a breath now, hear my words now, taste this last goodbye.
Alright, let's just turn these off for a minute. So, we're going to put the de-esser back on it,
Take a breath now.
and then the BX console.
Take a breath now, hear my words now, taste this last goodbye.
Okay, so we're compressing it quite a bit, tiny bit of EQ just to beef it up a little bit. And then we have a dry lower harmony. By that I mean we don't actually use any effects on it, only on the main one. It kind of, that way you kind of keep the mix from cluttering up too much. Now then, this lower vocal, it doesn't sound good at all on its own, but trust me, like it works. But it sounds a little bit like a drunken truck driver.
Take a breath now, hear my words now.
So that's what goes on underneath it, and then with the top one.
Take a breath now, hear my words now, taste this last goodbye.
Okay, so just to kind of create like a slight bit of, I don't want to say megaphone effect, but just have a little bit of beef in it. I have sent it out to one of these soft tube saturation knobs, and it kind of just adds a little bit of grit to it.
Take a breath now, hear my words now, taste this last goodbye.
And I fade that out. I fade the saturation out just towards the end here. You can see.
Taste this last goodbye.
Right. So that I've taken a modulation delay and just sent the main vocal to that one, so we get a bit of stuff happening.
Take a breath now, hear my words now, taste this last goodbye.
Awesome. Right now, for some reason, I've called this the, the pre-chorus, and I don't know why. But here it comes. This is how it sounds all together.
'Cause I gotta let go of you.
Right. So what happens is we've got a main one.
'Cause I gotta let go of you.
Right. Again, you can hear it without the plugins on it.
'Cause I gotta let go of you. I gotta face the truth.
Okay, so that's what she sounds like going into the microphone. There is nothing on that, okay? We just add a little bit of compression, a little bit of EQ, and it ends up sounding like this.
'Cause I gotta let go of you.
Okay, now I had her dub it on each side, but I had her dub it in such a way that it's not a perfect dub. It's one that kind of modulates a little bit from the original, and she's a talented enough singer to be able to do this, which is always a joy to work with, despite her being really, really annoying. She is a great singer. So I have a dub on the left.
'Cause I gotta let go of you.
See, she just changes it ever so slightly, and then on the right as well.
'Cause I gotta let go of you.
Right, and then you put them all together like this. Take the delay off.
'Cause I gotta let go of you. I gotta face the truth.
Okay. Now that does sound like a lot of delay if you listen to it without it.
'Cause I gotta let go of you. I gotta face the truth.
But when everything is singing and dancing, that does make sense. So this is what it sounds like with everything on.
'Cause I gotta let go of you. I gotta face the truth. You gotta leave me alone. You gotta leave me alone. 'Cause
And now we're into what I like to call the money section, for me anyway. And again, this is just the main section, the main take.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy.
And it's the same delay again. I've got where is that delay? That delay is, where is it?
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy. And I'm not your little lady.
Okay, so that is the clean vocal, and then I've done the same thing again. We've dubbed it on the left, on the right, so she sings it ever so slightly on the different on the left.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy.
And ever so slightly different on the right.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy.
And then you put them all together. Unmute it, of course, first.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy. And I'm not your little lady.
Okay, so if you were to pass this through Melodyne and start tuning it a little bit, you would lose the sort of the space it gives, where all of them are ever so slightly different, and that's just up to what kind of production you're going for. There's not a right or a wrong answer. In this case, I chose not to tune any of it and just add some modulation delay on top of it to make it even bigger.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy. And I'm not your little lady.
Great. Out of the first chorus in the second verse.
Don't you cry now, heard it all now. Don't ask me why. 'Cause
Okay, so in the second verse, she gives it a little bit more oomph than in the first one, and the same thing goes for the second chorus. Okay, so here she goes into the second chorus. Same setup again, main, dub on each side.
'Cause I gotta let go of you. I gotta face the truth. You gotta leave me alone. You gotta leave
Now, what we actually normally do is I have her record the whole thing a couple of times, just so she gets really warmed up and really into the song, and then I'll actually start tracking the ones that we're going to use, because they always end up sounding better. Anyway, here's the second part of the second chorus.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy.
And here we have some lower harmonies just to beef that up a little bit more than from the first time we heard it in the first chorus. So this is the second time in the second chorus, and there's a lower harmony happening also.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy.
So all together.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy. And I'm not your little lady.
And here comes a little like post-chorus tag thing, just to sort of break up the song a little bit. And it's not a very big section or anything, but it is important to the song.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy.
Take the lows out.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy. Yeah.
And that's about it. We come into the last chorus, and that is just a double take of everything. And what we do here is, at the end of it, we go out into the same section.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy.
Right? And then we have some ad-libs on the end,
And I gotta let go.
and they sort of sit in underneath some really ugly guitars. So the whole thing.
'Cause you're not my kind of crazy.
Oh, sorry, we start here.
'Cause I gotta let go of you. I gotta face the truth. You gotta leave me alone. You gotta leave me alone. 'Cause I gotta let go of you. I gotta face the truth. You gotta leave me alone. You gotta leave me alone. 'Cause you're not my kind of crazy. And I'm not your little lady. 'Cause you're not my kind of crazy. And I'm not your little lady. 'Cause you're not my kind of crazy. 'Cause you're not my kind of crazy. Yeah. And I gotta let go.
Well done, Nicole. Doesn't she sound amazing? And that's about it for the vocals. I might do... Should I do a little video on the bass and drums, even though I don't know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So, subscribe, do all that stuff. Thank you.